Today, what I'd like to talk about is our awareness while we're speaking, where we place it, where we maybe don't place it. Maybe some of us don't place it. Maybe some of us don't even know that we can place it. And so I think it's really important that when we're speaking, we're placing our awareness. Sometimes we'll place more of it on the person listening or the person we're trying to communicate with. Sometimes we'll want to place a little bit extra on ourselves to keep ourselves resourced, to keep part of our attention at home. And again, for some of us, this might be the first we're hearing of this, that we can actually place the attention more externally or more internally, or maybe some portion external and some portion internal. So there's a practice sometimes I do with individuals that I think is really useful. And again, for many of us, this is the first hearing that this is even an option. And so I'm going to just talk to talk. That's what I do with clients sometimes. And it's important because I'm sort of showcasing. There's not going to be much to see, but I invite you to take these practices into your work and personal life. So I'm talking, and while I'm talking, I'm not just focused on who might be listening or the screen in this case. I also reserve a piece of my own awareness in my own body. And the reason that's really important is if I'm all externally focused, I actually then have an experience of sort of ejecting out of my body, and then I'm no longer resourced. I've sort of gone all out in an unhealthy way, perhaps. And the opposite, of course, is also not necessarily healthy. If I'm all in my body and all in sort of like immersion in my own experience, I'm not really available to the other that I'm communicating with. But I think it's important to know where you're at and where you're coming from in any given exchange. So for instance, if I just, let's say for argument's sake, I'm at 50-50 right now. I have about 50% of my awareness in my body and about 50% on sort of talking into the screen. Well, can I shift that? So again, I invite you out in your life and in the world. Maybe you're talking to somebody or you're talking for a while. If you sort of say, okay, I feel like I'm at about 50-50. Can I go to 40-60? Can I put 40% on myself and 60 externally? And then can I flip it? Can I do 60% of my awareness on my? This is probably the first time we're ever even considering this as a possible option. If you can do anything with it, you might ask yourself, how do you know how to do that? Nobody ever taught you this skill. It's very unlikely that anyone's ever asked you to do this or instructed you on this. But if you can play with it and you can sort of feel like, oh, I am a little bit more at home right now, and it doesn't diminish sort of my ability to serve the other, maybe it actually even enhances it. Doesn't affect my listening. It's not like I'm distracted because I'm resourced at home. In fact, maybe I'm even a better listener and more focused. And then, oh, maybe there's situations where, oh, I don't need that much at home. I only need 30% at home, and I can be 70% sort of empathy and empathetic and really available to the person if, there's strong emotions or something is happening that requires that. Again, I invite you to play with this. I invite you to say, okay, where am I at? And can I affect it? And what does that actually mean for me? Sometimes I say, and I think this is a valuable instruction, the way that you do this is somehow. Everybody's going to do it differently. So tinker with it. It's very experiential, of course. Play with it and see, can I shift the percentages when I'm exchanging verbally with another? When I'm the speaker, how much do I keep at home? How much do I sort of offer external or outside of home?